So I watched this movie when it came out. I was gonna make this review when I watched the movie, but I was having some issues with my phone and I couldn't edit the video completely, so it came out today, Halloween. So my thoughts on Joker, well, they're, pretty straightforward. It is one of the best movies of the year, and it really doesn't have that much competition. I mean, not really, but it's still one of the best movies of the entire year. Considering we had some of the most anticipated movies in ever, like Avengers Endgame. And it is one of the best character study based films in a long time. It's really good. Of course, a lot of people have compared it to Taxi Driver, but it feels very unique. And the acting is incredible, the sets are incredible. This was a pleasant surprise because the director, Todd Phillips, hasn't made anything similar to, Joker. And I made a bit of research, and he said that he stopped making comedy because of woke culture. And yeah, I'm not really sure about that, but okay. The thing is that this movie's great, and the director, Todd Phillips, he, hasn't made anything similar to this. So it just shows that he's really talented at what he does. And Joaquin Phoenix, holy fuck, is he incredible. This is one of his best performances, and I watched a couple of his best films. So I haven't watched every single one of his movies, but I watched the best of them, and he's just really good. I'd say he's perfect. Of course, I do have some issues with the movie, but it's with the story, which is not really, that bad, but, overall, the acting is good, the sets are good, and just the music is good too. The soundtrack, I think it's very underrated. So, besides all that, I think this is one of the greatest movies of the year. And I think it deserves an Oscar, even if it has some issues. Some of the pacing, it's not really that fluent, but I'm gonna get to that in a bit. But overall, another thing that I really liked about the movie, besides the soundtrack, it's the, some of the pacing felt really good. The story didn't felt too long and everything. But now, some of my issues have to do with the story, as I mentioned earlier. So if you don't want to get spoiled or anything, skip to this part of the video. And 3, 2, 1, let's go. One of my biggest issues with the movie, it's with the story. The story is alright. Some of the issues I have is some of the presentation. There's this part where Joker, throughout the story, he basically thinks he's in a relationship with this woman, basically his neighbor that he saw in an elevator, and he basically fell in love with her. And the reveal that they weren't together just feels so unnatural. Because, it's an adult film, and the way they presented the twist was if it was a PG-13 movie, as if the audience couldn't understand that all of it was fake, so they had to show flashbacks of her in and out, which I think was just pretty dumb, because I think the audience would have understood that, that he was dreaming about all of that. Another issue I have, which is not really all that serious, it's basically the climax of the movie. The entire movie builds up to basically the scene with his idol. At the start of the movie, they do a great presentation about how he views Murray, which is, I'd say, the antagonist, quote-unquote, and how he sees it. And the climax, I wouldn't say it's bad, but it's sudden, which is good and bad, because the build-up was very high, the payoff was good, but it was just really quick. Another issue I have was how they tried to blend it in with the Batman story, as if the Joker inspired the Batman's killer, which was not the case in the comics, and it really doesn't make that much sense. And another thing that that annoys me, it's just that it's basically his parents get out of the theater without any security when the city's on fire, and that's just those things that are just so fucking annoying. But that's all I gotta say when it comes to spoilers. And overall, this movie's great. You should watch it. It's one of the greatest movies of the year. And yeah, grab it if you can. And praise to Joaquin Phoenix for doing his best. This movie is an 8 out of 10. But I'd say I give it a 9 out of 10. Bye.